I get the idea we have a kind of collective responsibility. Those of us who are in this stage right now, where we're experiencing awakenings, kind of ascension process, peeling the onion, losing layers upon layers of ourselves as we re-examine everything we've ever known, our reality, and come to terms with how much we've been living in the dark and how much we now want to live in the light. For myself, I watched a lot of videos and there's all kinds of advice. There's one piece of advice you often hear after you've been through sort of unsettling times, being gaslit, whether it be by society as a whole, which we've all experienced, or more personally, as many of us have also experienced, with toxic people who've gaslit and breadcrumb us. At this point, we don't know what's real anymore. And that's extremely ungrounding and disorienting. And once we come to terms with that, we realize so much of what we thought had potential, so much of what we thought our future would look like, it was never going to be that way. It doesn't look like that, and it won't look like that. And it leaves this kind of emptiness, a kind of, at first it's like an emptiness, but after a while it's just a space, a vacant space, where the question is inevitably, so what's next? And one kind of doesn't know. So much of one's identity, thoughts, feelings, hopes, desires would have been tied up in a future that was never to be. And these videos, they say, figure out what you want. What do you want now? What do you want? And I say, I don't know. I don't know. What I thought I wanted is gone from me. And then I think about, okay, so I guess I'm free to want whatever I want to want. And that's where it becomes interesting, because I look around and everything I see I don't want. Not that as a whole I don't want anything, or this whole realm. It's just that all the things that we are generally trained and programmed to want, once you see through the fallacies, you realize they were never going to fulfill your desire. You just weren't aware of that, and that's why you wanted them. But now you know better, then what's left to want? For me at this time, where I've settled is more on abstract concepts, and I think that's probably a good place for most of us. Peace, truth, kindness, clarity, wisdom, gratitude, strength, stability, equanimity. These things I want. And everything else is less than optional. Really, if it were to interfere with any of those things, I literally want it to depart from me. So, our obligation, those of us in this position, coming to terms with these things, trying to find out what we want, when all the wants that we ever wanted, we see now we don't want anymore. Our obligation is to think on these things, to bring them into awareness, to not pretend that the things that we were offered and sold in the past, however beautiful they might have been, however we bought into the dream of, yes, this is what I would like. Yes, thank you. I will strive for that. I will want that. That time is gone now. Now it's time for us to bring into our conscious awareness what we really want, not what we were programmed, social engineered, and coerced into wanting. What will really fulfill you? What will fulfill us collectively? Ask yourself, tell yourself, what do you want? Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.